Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabe. I welcome you to Behavior in Living Organisms, questions 16 to 20. Question 16. Distinguish between altruism and kin selection. What are some of the benefits and negative consequences of living in a group? State the significance of social behavior in animals. State the factors affecting the size of a territory. Distinguish between altruism and kin selection. Altruistic behavior is one in which an individual, the donor, performs an action that helps another animal, the recipient, with no apparent advantage to itself. For example, alarm calling in squirrels, helpers at the nest in the squirrels, sterile work casts in the honeybees. Kin selection is an evolutionary mechanism that selects for those behaviors that increase the inclusive fitness of the donor. Part B. What are some of the benefits and negative consequences of living in a group? Group members can cooperate in finding food. Group hunters can catch larger prey than individual animals can. Animals foraging might find spots where food is plentiful, and all members of the group benefit rather than wasting time fighting over it. Groups can defend territories more efficiently than individuals. Living in a group also provides better access to mates. There is also drawbacks to living in a group. Animals living in a group also spread disease more easily than animals living on their own. Groups may attract predators or attacks by other animals because of scent of noise. State the significance of social behaviors in animals. Females only give birth to one infant at any one time, so the maternal care and extensive group protection towards these few young enhances the survival rate. The young learn through observation and play with other members of the group. Learned behavior is vital for the survival of primates. Knowledge and protection of food sources is shared with the group members. Greater ability to detect and deter predators is achieved by group individuals working together. State the factors affecting the size of a territory. Availability of environmental resources, feeding habits of animals, for example, large carnivores require several square miles, number of individuals in a group. Use of territory. Some use territory for breeding only and move out of the territory to feed. Levels of testosterone. High level increases aggressiveness, thus increase in the size of the territory. (17) Outline the pain withdrawal reflex in humans. Part B. Explain the role of natural selection in the development of behavior patterns. Part C. Explain how the following might improve an animal's chance of survival. Kinesis, learning. Outline the pain withdrawal reflex in a human. Pain sensed by receptor cells or nerve ending in the skin. Impulse passed along the sensory neuron, nerve to the spinal cord or central nervous system. Passage through association neuron, neurons in the gray matter. Impulses are passed along the motor neuron, neuron to the muscle. Contraction of the muscle pulls and moves the limb away from the source of pain. Part B. Explain the role of natural selection in the development of behavioral pattern. Innate behavior patterns are inherited and developed independently of the environment with a stereotyped response to environmental stimuli. Animals show variation in their behavior that are controlled by genes or inherited from parents. Behavioral pattern selected by the environment makes those animal adaptive behavior more likely to survive. Animals which survive leave more offsprings than those less adapted. Cause a change in the allele frequency. Population species start to show more adaptive behavior and population has evolved. Explain how the following might improve the animal's chances of survival. Kinesis. Kinesis is a non-directional response of an organism in response to a stimulus. For example, wood lice move more in dry conditions and stands better chances of finding damp areas. favorable for its survival. Learning. Through learning, organisms acquire information from past experience to adapt to new situations, can better obtain food, shelter, and resources, increasing mating chances. The organism learn to avoid dangerous situations. Cooperation between individuals may increase survival. (18) Outline Pavlov's experiment on the classical conditioning of dogs. Describe the role of different members of the colony of honeybees. Describe the social organization of honeybees colony. What is the importance of the following form of animal behaviors? Exploratory learning, insight learning. Outline Pavlov's experiment on classical conditioning in dogs. Unconditioned stimulus of food, sight of food, accompanied by a bell ringing. Salivation is unconditioned response. Conditioned stimulus of bell ringing given before without unconditioned stimulus, sight of food, made salivation became the conditioned response to the bell ringing. Describe the role of different members of the colony of the honeybee. Honeybee colonies are organized on caste system, that is division of labor and cooperative to regulate internal temperature of hives. The colony contains one queen which lays eggs, produces pheromones to give instructions to the workers. The colony contains many workers. Swarming, when there are more workers than the queen can control in the hive. Workers feed or nurse the brood larvae, forage for food, pollen, nectar, communicate with each other by exchange of pheromones, communicate with each other by dances. The colony contained fewer drones than workers. Drones mate the queens. Workers evict drones when they are not needed. Protect queen from invader and build or maintain or repair the hive. What is the importance of the following form of animal behaviors? Exploratory learning. Animal explore its new surroundings and gets information which may be useful at later stages. Animals get to identify its immediate escape routes. Animals get to identify its immediate food sources. What is the importance of the following animal behavior? Insight learning. Enables animals solve complex problems based on intellectual abilities of reasoning, thought, and memory. Enables the animal to address new problems, stimuli never encountered before. With adequate training and rehearsal, the animal learns to perfect its response with little or no mistakes. Question 19. Outline the characteristics of the following mode of learned behaviors: conditioning, trial and error learning. Describe how classical conditioning differs from operant conditioning. Explain the importance of each of the above forms of learning. Outline the characteristics of the following mode of learned behavior: conditioning. Results in association of two stimuli presented simultaneously. It is temporal in nature. If not reinforced, organisms stop responding. It involves involuntary response. It is reinforced by repetition of stimuli. Removal of the cerebral cortex results in the loss of response. Trial and error. Outline the characteristics of the learned behavior: trial and error. The associative stimulus follows the action, that is, does not need to be presented at the same time with it. Response is improved by repetition. It is temporarily in nature, but lasts longer than conditioning. It is an involuntary response. Removal of the cerebral cortex does not result in a loss of response. Describe how classical conditioning differs from operant conditioning. In classical conditioning, the animal learns to associate a particular stimulus with a reinforcer and conditioned response. While in operant conditioning, the animal learns to associate a particular behavior with a reinforcer. In classical conditioning, the delivery of rewards or punishment is controlled by the experimenter or trainer, while in operant conditioning, an animal owns the behavior and determines whether a reward appears or not. Explain the importance of each of the above forms of learning. Classical conditioning in the wild enables animals to modify their behaviors in such a way that they reap maximum reward from the environment and get less trouble, punishment as a result. They get to learn their predators, and predators learn their prey, palatable from unpalatable species. Operant conditioning enables organisms to continuously improve its behavior, makes less and less error with repetitive practice trials, till the behavior is perfected and the organism possesses the correct response. For example, the rat will make several attempts in a maze to find food, keep minimizing error, and finally become perfect. Number 20. Outline 2 other causes of loss of responsiveness to stimuli apart from habituation. Part B. Communication in animals is commonly used in species recognition, mating behavior, organizing social behavior. With examples, discuss the various mechanisms through which organisms communicate and the significance of each. Outline 2 other causes of loss of responsiveness to stimuli apart from habituation. Fatigue or sensory adaptation and generalization. Communication in animals is commonly used in species recognition, mating behavior, and organizing social behavior. With examples, discuss the various mechanisms through which organisms communicate and the significance of each. Reproductively receptive female moth attract male moth by emitting releaser pheromones into the air. Ants secrete releaser pheromones to mark trails that guide other ants for food. Chemically, by means of pheromones, can be releaser pheromones cause immediate and specific behavior changes, or primer pheromones cause physiological changes. Queen bee, queen termites, and queen ants secrete primer pheromones that are eaten by workers. Pheromones prevent development of reproductive ability. Many male mammals spray urine throughout their territories, especially along the borders, to warn other animals of the same species to keep out Visual, best in animals during display of aggression, agonistic behavior, or during courtships preceding reproduction. Various visual display like red bellies, head-up posture, zigzag motion, swimming to the nest are all visual clues that serve as releaser for reproductive behavior in stickleback fish. Male sage grouse assemble into group called leeks in which the bird makes courtship display to solicit females. After observing males, a female will choose one for a mate. Wolves make threatening gestures by staring and baring their teeth, lowering their tails, and lying on their backs as submissive behaviors. Auditory sounds are commonly used to communicate over long distances, through water, and at night. Whales' song, produced at infrasound frequencies below audible range of humans, can be heard by hundreds of miles by other whales. Related female elephants from herds use infrasound for greetings, communicating danger, and singing songs that announce reproductive readiness to solitary males who may be miles away. Calls of male frogs and male crickets, word of male rivals, attract females and function in species recognition. Songs of male birds provide species recognition, a display to attract female mates, and warning to other males of territory boundaries. Tactile, touching, is common in social bonding, infant care, grooming, and mating. Wolves greet the dominant male in a pack by licking his muzzle. Bees utilize tactile communication in form of circular and waggle dance to provide information about food location. Thank you very much for participating in behavior in living organisms, questions 16 to 20. Please do like, share, and subscribe.